I believe in God, but not in miracles. So I'll tell you about miracles that I witnessed during my Muslim Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca in 2009. Nothing really dramatic happened, like Jesus turning water into wine, which would be illegal in Saudi Arabia and would get us in trouble if it happened. So our group from Russia included 60 women and 90 men. And we spent about a week in Mecca and then went for one night to the valley of Muzdalifa, where we stayed with 3 million other people. And the valley Muzdalifa was not designed for 3 million people. We arrived there in the afternoon, and the Saudi authorities supposed to assign a small square place for every group so that everybody would fit there. However, we discovered that somebody else took our place. So we had to wait until the organizers would find us a new place. And our leader of our group, Imam, was a young man in his 30s with long, red, fluffy beard. And he always tried to impress us with about how Hajj pilgrimage was great. So he touched his fluffy beard and said, for 50 people per bus, it takes 60,000 bus trips to bring people here. And I thought, that's a wonderful statistic. The pollution feels exactly like 60,000 buses. But I couldn't complain because there was this old man in our group. He was so old that he could barely walk with a stick. And 2 other pilgrims always carried him under his arms. And the third one carried his stick and a collapsible chair for him. And everybody tried to help him, and our Imam said, every good deed you do during the pilgrimage multiplies 70 times. So at one point, I also approached the old man and asked him, can I do something for you? And he said, what can you do? I said, I don't know, anything you need. He said, I don't need anything. So he was kind of a grouchy man. So 3 hours after we arrived there, we were still waiting. And there were no trees in Muzdalifa. And we were standing under direct sun. And the air was so hot, and 60,000 buses polluted it so much that I could barely breathe. And when I thought I couldn't take it anymore, suddenly I felt this wonderful breeze which kind of pushed the polluted air away and brought this amazing smell of oranges. And I turned to our Imam and said, this breeze is amazing, and the oranges smell like Christmas. And he said, I don't feel any breeze and don't smell any oranges. And then he said, that's probably God is giving you a relief from your suffering. Like Jesus turned water into wine, and so God turned polluted air into orange smell for you. I thought, well, a miracle that only I can experience. I think the proper word for it is hallucination. I guess I was so exhausted that I hallucinated for a moment. So finally the organizers found us a place. Two pilgrims grabbed the old man under his arms, and I carried his chair. And then we, in the new place, I set up the chair, and they put it into the chair, and we all collapsed on the ground next to 150 other bodies. So that day was like a rehearsal for the doomsday. And at night, thousands lights went on in Muzdalifa, and it felt like a vacation at a concentration camp. So at some point, another group stopped next to us. They were pilgrims from Turkey, and turned out that we occupied their place. But we were so tired that we just laid on the ground, kind of passive-aggressively. And the Turk pilgrims had to walk away. And as we were happily looking after the Turkish pilgrims walking away, the old man suddenly shouted, "My stick! The Turks stole my stick!" And he looked at us, kind of hoping for the help, as usual. But nobody moved to help him. I don't know what the others were thinking, but I thought, I'll pass this time. I kind of already got 70 deeds for carrying a chair. And then the old man started running himself after the Turks. Or I should say, dragging his feet. He dragged no more than 100 feet though, and then suddenly stopped and looked back. And it was clear that he was not fast enough to catch up with the Turks. And he looked like somebody who made it to the middle of the river and realized that he couldn't make it to the other side or return back. And we all were watching him as a survival reality show. And then he picked something from the ground, and it was a long, crooked stick about his size. And holding that stick, he came back to our group and announced, "God sent me a stick." And the old man looked like a new man. And I thought, I wonder how did that crooked stick ended up in Muzdalifa? There are no trees here. Probably some Arab local camel boy who left it behind. And I was wondering if that Turkish pilgrims really stole his stick. And I thought, shame on whoever made this old man suffer during his religious pilgrimage. And that's when I realized that when carrying his chair, I forgot his stick. And I thought, well, that's not a big deal actually. He found another one after all. And besides, there was no way I could find his old stick in the middle of the night among 3 million other pilgrims, even if I wanted to. And I decided, as soon as we go back to the city, I will buy him a new stick. So next day, the old man refused any help, and he was walking by himself using his crooked stick. And it was kind of a miracle, except it slowed us really down. And as soon as 60,000 buses brought us back to Mecca, I went to a supermarket and bought a new shiny stick for the old man. And as next time we gathered at the hotel lobby to go for afternoon prayer, I walked up to him and said, I'm afraid I lost your stick in Muzdalifa. I'm sorry, and I bought you a new one. And he said, I don't need your purchased stick. And everybody in the hotel lobby got quiet. And he said, when I was desperate in Muzdalifa, God saw me and took mercy of me and gave me a stick. And the Imam stepped next to me and said, yes, God sent you that miracle in Muzdalifa. And now he's sending you a new one from a supermarket. And the old man said, no, you can't buy a miracle in the supermarket. I said to the Imam, it's okay, I'm not going to compete with God's stick. And I thought to myself, why is that it's always like everything I do is coming wrong? First I lost his stick, now I'm trying to take away his miracle. So later I returned the stick to the supermarket. And Hajj changed me in many ways, but it didn't change my disbelief in miracles. Only since then, every time I smell oranges, I remember Muzdalifa. And I keep wondering, when I lost the old man's stick, did I or did I not still got my 70 good deeds for carrying his chair?